Good evening, Nigeria, and welcome to yet another edition of Electricity Town Hall, a program being sponsored by the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission (NERC), aimed at keeping consumers of electricity abreast of happenings in the nation's power sector. This program comes your way every Monday on the network service of Radio Nigeria at 7 o'clock in the evening. NERC is the regulator of the nation's power sector, interfacing with electricity generation companies known as the GENCOs, the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, and the distribution companies, DISCOs. I am David Umoru, your anchor. The Nigerian Electricity Supply Industry (NESI) is a framework for electricity generation, transmission and distribution in Nigeria. It's a critical sector that plays a vital role in Nigeria's economic development, fueling industries and improving the standard of living. However, the NESI faces ongoing challenges such as providing reliable and affordable power to a growing population. One area that has remained critical has been the distribution sector, where consumers are given electricity and in turn required to pay for services rendered. Owing to issues surrounding electricity supply, consumption, bills and electricity theft, the Nigerian government has introduced several initiatives geared towards protecting the consumer while also providing the investor the enabling environment to get returns on their investment. Today we'll be examining issues relating to security and vandalism of power infrastructure, obstruction of electricity works, and matters concerning the electricity right-of-way (ROW). How has it impacted on the nation's electricity sector, and what has been done to address this impasse? These and more will be interrogated tonight on Electricity Town Hall as we look at electricity theft and security in the Nigerian Electricity Supply Industry (NESI). We have in the studio a Principal Manager, Legal Licensing and Compliance Division, Uzoma Agbayim. Welcome to our studio.
Good evening, everyone.
We also have a Deputy Manager, Technical Regulations Division, Ubong Etukudo.
Good evening, dear listeners.
And a Principal Manager, Stakeholder Management Division, Ibrahim Adamu, all from NERC. Welcome on board the program tonight.
Thank you. Good evening.
Okay, let's get right into it. Going from our headline or conversation tonight, what exactly is electric power vandalism? Let's say Ibrahim.
So the electric power vandalism refers to an intentional destruction, damage or theft of electrical infrastructure. And these electrical infrastructure that are prone to this vandalism include power lines and towers, transmission and substations, distribution equipment and poles, meters and other electric components, and stealing of armored cables, which is very prominent now, very something that is a burning issue right now. Stealing of armored cables at distribution substations, and then stealing of transformer oil.
Oh,
yes.
Armored cables. Are these things, how protected are they? I thought they were buried underground.
Yes, we have. They are not buried. The ones at the substation are actually overhead, because you have the overhead that goes to the pole. The one that goes to the design, go to the extent of even casting the armored cables.
Oh, just so that it can be pulled
so that
out.
I cannot just come and cut it.
Okay,
so it's that bad.
Okay, how about the cables, the ones that we see on the surface areas?
That's the aluminium cable. Those are not the ones that although in some cases they also vandalize the aluminium cables, but in most cases it's the armored cables that are copper cables that are more prone to vandalism. Yes.
Okay, I wonder how these people just risk their lives, because those things carry some level of power.
Exactly.
Okay.
People die in this act. Some cases where people get electrocuted in the process of cutting power cables.
Okay, talking about that same vandalism, what are the impacts of vandalizing electricity infrastructure?
Exactly. So the impact is once we vandalize this thing, it will cause outage, because the communities affected by that particular transformer will go out. Then obviously there will be disruption of supply. Then there are also economic losses. This electrical infrastructure costs a lot. It runs into billions. So we have a statistics from January 2022 to February 2024. The estimated cost of repair for vandalized items is to the tune of 12.8 billion naira. So it's a huge sum.
For the laid down infrastructure?
Yes.
And what does that constitute now? How does it tell on the revenue generation?
One, it will tell on the revenue of generation of the discos because they have to replace these assets that are either vandalized or stolen. And then two, the customers too, well, they also lose because they use this electricity for productive use. And when it's out, it's also economic losses on the part of the customers. So it's a two-way thing. While the disco loses, the customers also lose.
Also will lose. Okay, let's get to the legal angle of this. I hear there's an Electricity Act of 2023. How does this particular act address vandalism in Nigeria?
Thank you, Ms. Uzama.
Mr. Uzama.
Yes, thank you very much. The Electricity Act of 2023, first of all, criminalizes these various acts, vandalism, damage of electricity infrastructure, and it provides stricter penalties for these acts. So that's first and foremost how the Electricity Act addresses the issue. So under the EPSR Act, which is the Electric Power Sector Reform Act of 2005, these acts were not criminalized. But under this Electricity Act of 2023, these acts are now criminalized, and stiffer penalties have been meted against those who are the culprits.
And he just mentioned in figures, more like in Naira, right, the impact of this in Naira terms.
Yeah.
How far has this particular act gone to deter people from vandalism?
Well, recently there was a particular real estate agent who was convicted of theft of electricity. And when they calculated it, it was almost 12 million naira. That was the loss incurred by the disco. And he was convicted for 3 years for electricity theft. And so I'm sure it would deter other people when people hear that you can be convicted for upwards of 3 years, sometimes 5 years, and fined even 500,000, 1 million for the theft of electricity. It would deter people from stealing this electricity.
Okay, now what exactly is NERC doing to sensitize Nigerians on the impact of electric power infrastructure vandalism?
Okay, so part of what the Commission has been doing is doing these radio programs, organizing town halls, engaging with community leaders. We're also engaging with security agencies on how to collaborate to see that this thing should stop, because it's really having a very big toll on the industry.
Oh, that's nice, and I really wish the Commission well as they go along to do this. Back to you now, Mr. Uzoma. What are some of the electricity-related offences that are created under the Electricity Act?
Okay, thank you very much. Section 208 of the Electricity Act, right through Section 220, provides for the offences and the penalties. And I'll run through them. The first one is the theft of electricity, where you have illegal connection, meter tampering, bypass for the purpose of using electricity without paying for it. We also have unauthorized use of electricity. The penalty for theft of electricity is a minimum of 3 years imprisonment and a maximum of 5 years imprisonment for what we call load, is the consumption load, right?
Yeah, yes.
So for consumption loads that are less than 10 kilowatts, right?
Yes.
The penalty is 3 times the value of what was used or what was stolen. And for consumption loads that are more than 10 kilowatts, we have a maximum of 6 times the value of this electricity that was stolen. And then we also have the theft of electric lines, materials, and installations. Okay. Yeah, so it is very critical that we know that when you go and steal electricity materials like cables, armored cables, like my friend just said, it's a crime and you will be punished. And so the punishment is as much as 3 years imprisonment and 500,000 naira as fines for that infraction. And then we have receiving stolen electricity materials. That is a very, very serious crime. In fact, it has the highest term of imprisonment, which is 14 years. And you would also pay 3 times the value of these particular materials that were stolen. And when we say stolen, the yardstick for measuring is not that you have complete and absolute knowledge of the fact that it was stolen, as long as you ought to have reasonably known that those materials were stolen and you received them, that is considered a crime.
Now, when it comes to electricity theft, not the infrastructure now, there's a language I hear, or a phrase rather, first offender.
Yes.
We hear that a lot.
Yes.
Do we have that same first offender
Yes, we
thing?
do. Yes, we do. So the first offender simply means that is the first time you're actually caught doing the particular crime. So if it is the first time you're stealing and you're convicted for that particular crime, you are a first-time offender. So subsequent offenders, it means that after you've been caught, prosecuted, penalized, you still go ahead to do the same thing. That means you're a subsequent offender, and that has more aggravated fines and penalties.
Then if you do again, you become a serial offender.
Exactly. And the penalties keep increasing. It gets more heavier.
I bet you Nigerians, that's not to justify you going to steal any electricity infrastructure as it is, because you've heard first offender is a way less than second or third. It's not a justification for it. Thank you very much, Mr. Usama, on that. You're listening to Electricity Town Hall on the network service of Radio Nigeria, a program being sponsored by the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC. We're going to a short break, and when we return, we will speak more on, I'm sure you hear from Mr. Ubong Tukudo. I'm sure you've been yearning to hear him speak, and we'll be talking more on the right of way, among other things, when we return.
This is Electricity Town Hall on the network service of Radio Nigeria. We will be back shortly.
Electricity thief na when person tap light wey no be own, connect illegal wire, tamper with meter or bypass light sef. See, electricity thief fit make transformer blow. E dey spoil equipment wey dey use electricity. E dey make electricity regulators dem dey increase tariff, so dey fit solve the wahala when this electricity thief dey cause. E dey also cause accident wey fit kpai person, and if dem catch you, na jail be that o, and na 3 years at least na you go cool off for there, or you go pay fine, or make e be say you pay fine and still go jail sef. No thief light o, no kpai yourself, make you no make other people sef suffer. You fit stop this one right now. Report electricity thief to your disco. This message na from the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC. NERC, make light for the day.
We are back with Electricity Town Hall on the network service of Radio Nigeria.
Welcome back. It's still Electricity Town Hall on the network service of Radio Nigeria, and we are discussing electricity theft and security in the Nigerian electricity supply industry, and we're examining issues relating to security and vandalism of power infrastructure, obstruction of electricity works, and matters concerning the electricity right-of-way, ROW. We have been speaking with a Principal Manager, Legal Licensing and Compliance Division, Uzoma Agbaim. Welcome to our studio once again.
Thank you, sir.
We also have a Deputy Manager, Technical Regulations Division, Mr. Ubong Tukudo. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
And also a Principal Manager, Stakeholder Management Division, Adamu Ibrahim, all from NERC. Thank you all once again for
Thank you,
joining.
David, for having us.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure. Okay, I'll just go right to Mr. Ubong now, and we'll still talk about vandalism, but let's just discuss the right-of-way and what people know about it. What is right-of-way, ROW, in the electricity industry, Mr. Ubong?
Okay, right-of-way of power lines refer to the legally defined corridor or space along which transmission and distribution lines are constructed and maintained. It ensures safe distance between power lines and buildings, structures, or human activities. Section 3.1 of the NESI regulations stipulates the right-of-way of 330 kV lines as 25 meters on either side of the power line. And for 132 kV, we have 15 meters on either side of the power line. For 33 kV and 11 kV, we have 5.5 meters on either side of the power line. So that means that within this stipulated space, buildings, vehicular activities, human activities, and even temporary structures are prohibited.
Okay, you've been talking in technical terms. 11 kV or 11,000, did I hear that correct?
Yeah, so we have
33.
330 kV, which is transmission voltage.
Okay.
We have 132 kV, which is also transmission voltage. And we have 33 kV and 11 kV, which is distribution voltage level.
Okay, let's bring this to the people now because we've mentioned them in technical terms. Now, can you give a physical description of this, at least by way? I know this particular levels, when you go outside, you see different structures ranging from some of the very tall ones and then to the very low ones that bring power to the residential areas. So which of these ones, just by vivid description, is the 11, the 33, and all of that?
Okay, so let's start with the transmission towers that we see. So once you see a transmission tower, as a layman, you may not know if it's 330 or 132, but at least you should know that this is not for distribution to houses. This is strictly for transmission purpose. But for 33 kV and 11 kV, those ones are...
Okay, please, before you continue, sorry to cut you. Are these the ones whose structure actually look like the telecommunication masts?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes, please. Yeah. So that is the transmission towers that we talked about. And if you are doing any activity close to them, you should be able to maintain those stipulated distance that we talked about. That is 25 meter for the 330 and 15 meters for the 132 kV.
Okay, then the description for the other ones.
For the distribution lines, first of all, they are borne on concrete poles.
Okay.
Yeah. So the difference between 132 and the difference between 33 and 11 is majorly okay. For technical people, you can use the insulation to know that okay, this is 33 or this is 11. But for a layman, okay, it's safe to assume. If you don't know, it's safe to assume that it is 33 kV. So it's just like we say in most, places that if you are not sure if this is energized, assume it is energized. So you should keep yourself, maintain that safe distance, always.
Okay, so what are some of the effects of right-of-way violations in NESI?
Yeah, there are numerous effects of right-of-way violations, starting with system disruption. What that means is that if there are illegal structures or vegetation under high tension lines, it could lead to fire. It could also lead to, a fault on the line. And once there's a fault, there could be blackout. And because these are high voltage lines, they save a large number of customers. For example, if you have a major transmission line like a 132 kV line that is out on fault, more than half of the city may be affected, for example. So that's one. Two, we also have public safety risk. What that means is that the person encroaching into the right of way is at risk. If there is a fault and the line snaps, there could be casualties, and then you are also exposing yourself to high voltage. This is not just, in some places you see people even farming under power line right of way. So that is also very risky, very, very risky. Then we also have delayed projects. Utilities will not have the ability to carry out maintenance of these lines if there's a fault. In some instances, they are even asked to pay before they can have access to their line. So that would elongate the downtime, and that would also elongate the blackout period and all of that. So then also financial losses. If there's an accident, you calculate not just the cost of compensation, you also calculate the cost of repairing the fault. You calculate the money lost due to downtime, and sometimes this can't even be quantified in monetary terms. For example, you can't quantify the cost of a human life.
Yes.
So that's also part of the things that we should put into consideration. And then legal conflicts. There are instances where the utility and a consumer may be in court over right of way. These will be claiming, oh, I have title to this parcel of land. These will be saying, no, this is right of way of my land. And all those activities also lead to circumstances where the utility may not, I say utility because it could be transmission or distribution,
okay,
may not be able to, safely operate and maintain the line.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Obong. Let me come to you now, Mr. Uzoma. Going from the legal angle, we've talked about punitive measures for electric vandalism, infrastructure vandalism. How about the right of way? Does the Electricity Act capture this as an offense? And what are some of the penalties that are allotted to them?
Okay, so specifically, right of way was not captured as an offense.
Okay.
But there is vandalism of electricity materials.
Okay.
That is 300,000 naira as fine.
Okay.
And then in addition to the cost of repair. So, and then we also have interference with meters or works of licenses. So in this case, where you have illegal connection, you can remove electric cables just to build something, and that is an offense. And then you have meter tampering, and that is 500,000 naira as fine and 3 years imprisonment. We also have 10,000 naira every single day for every continuing, when the offense keeps continuing, 10,000 naira every single day.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for this. As we round off, I'll just ask, I normally like to do sampling on this. Imagine you are in a position to advise based on your experience. I'll take your opinions one after the other. Imagine you're to advise based on your experience. And I'll start with you, Mr. Obong. What would you advise to effectively address right-of-way violations in Nigeria based on your experience?
Okay, so the first would be increased public awareness. Everybody has to understand that there's actually what is called right of way, and we need to get this out to the public. So utilities and state governments, just as the commission is doing, we should increase awareness on right of way of power lines. Also, enforcement. Like I said previously, state government, they have the responsibility of ensuring that there is strict enforcement of right of way of power lines. In some states, sadly, we see even government buildings under right of way of power lines. So these acts needs to be addressed. So all those illegal structures under right of way should actually be demolished so that the utility can have a safe operating space for their infrastructure. Then also, we should understand that the need for collaboration is essential. So collaboration between different stakeholders, the utility, the commission. Now that we even have State Electricity Regulatory Commission, so there is need for everybody to come together and then condemn this act because it's actually very, very unsafe. And as a matter of fact, accidents have happened in the NESI as a result of right-of-way breaches. Last year, for example, unsafe acts, which includes acts of right-of-way violation, contributed to about 35% of accidents that happened in 2024. So it's something that is very serious, and in as much as the Commission is doing its bit within the mandate it has under the Electricity Act, all stakeholders need to join hands to ensure that this is actually nipped in the bud. Thank you very much. Also, I forgot to mention technology.
Okay.
In some countries right now, you have some technological ways of monitoring the lines, like the use of drones, like GIS mapping. Because once a structure has gone to an advanced stage, it becomes very difficult to bring it down. But when it's just starting, if the utility is able to know that, okay, these people are, constructing on that, they will be able to stop or report to the state government on time.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ibrahim. And I must thank the leadership of the Commission also for bringing up the stakeholder management and engagement. This program that will continue to engage the public on what to do and what not to do. And my take home today is assume every electric installation to be powered. That's what you say, right, Mr. Obong?
Yes.
Assume that it is powered and
Yes.
do not go close to it, because first and foremost, before any penalty or any fine that will come, the Nigerian government first and foremost values your life above
And also
all of this.
assume it's yours.
Assume
Because
it's
if
yours.
this thing is affected, you are also affected. So
Definitely.
just protect this installation. They are yours because they are there to serve you.
Thank you very much for that parting word. This is where we end today's edition of Electricity Town Hall on the network service of Radio Nigeria. We've been speaking with the Principal Manager, Legal Licensing and Compliance Division, Uzoma Bayem. Thanks for joining the program.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Okay, we've also had a Deputy Manager, Technical Regulations Division, Ubong Etukudo. Thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
And also a Principal Manager, Stakeholder Management Division, Mr. Adamo Ibrahim, all from NERC. Thank you all once again for your insightful contributions and for coming on the program.
Thank you, David, for helping us sensitize our customers on all these issues.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. Appreciation to the team of producers, Studio Manager Phineas Udoyo, Facilitator Conrad Labi, Producer Sunday Gotcha. Special thanks to our executive producers Huseina Akila and Sushimaki. I am David Umar. See you next Monday for another interesting edition of Electricity Town Hall. Goodbye.